Hi, welcome to my 2023 studio tour. I figured I would start off the year recording just the state my little art corner is in. I'm working out of a one-bedroom apartment, and this is where I make all my art. It's actually in two of the four corners of my bedroom, so it's a little crowded and a little weird, but it works for me. I've been working out of this corner for a year now, and I love it. It's been really great. I finally sort of figured out a workflow that works for me, so I thought I would share just how much you can do with the space you can dedicate to your art. So let's get into it. So the primary reason I chose this space is because I had these two fantastic windows here that I knew was going to provide a lot of really beautiful natural light when I was working in the daytime. This room also faces southwest, so I get all of the afternoon and evening sunlight here, which is when I'm generally working at my table here. So I knew that this is where I was going to get the best natural lighting for working and for photographing my art. I photograph most things just on this table here because it's a really nice wood surface, and it works out great. And at night, if I'm still working after dark, I have really great lighting here. I've got a little lamp, and then I have this filming light here, which changes color, gets brighter, dimmer, and can also attach my phone to it, which I rarely use it for that, but I can it's a softer diffused lighting that I can aim a little better, and it's really nice as just a general fill light, so that's what I recommend. The other thing I had to evolve over time was having enough storage within arm's reach. I was having difficulty because a lot of storage I used to have in my closet, and it was well organized in various bins, but anytime I thought of a new thing I needed, I had to get up and go over to my closet, find the right bin, pull it out from a stack, open it up, and by then I'd probably forgotten what I was doing and got distracted with how messy my closet was. So I've slowly evolved my storage over time to have a bunch more things within arm's reach of where I'm sitting. I've got my regularly accessed paper storage, my regular art supplies, and then I found this really great layered tray available. I think it was at Michael's, but one of the big box art supply stores. And these are just 6 basically like lunchroom trays that sit in here, so I can pull them out, rearrange them, and these I basically store different projects in progress on based on sort of the material needed. So they can all have a horizontal surface to sit on that wasn't always cluttering the top of my desk. That way I can switch mediums pretty easily without having to put a bunch of stuff away out of sight and forget that. Continuing to spin around here, to the side of this, I've got various boards and cardboards and whatnot. They just come in handy. Sometimes I need to cut out templates for printing stuff, so I can just grab a scrap of board there. I've also got, these are dowel rods for something I had in mind. I forgot those were there actually. And then a drawing board if I ever need to draw in my lap. Continuing, I've got my little cactus collection. They're doing quite well. And then my more regularly accessed sketchbooks, painting materials, markers, pencils, some extra card storage. This is where I keep my printed greeting cards for my markets. And obviously then I have my French easel over here. So this is where I'm starting to set up oil painting. I set it up here because it's sort of out of the way of the flow of traffic, but I can still get to my desk, and I can literally just spin around from here and then start oil painting. So I cleared out this cubby to stash all the oil painting supplies I need. The other thing I got are these little shelves and baskets from IKEA. These are helpful for just holding things out of the way. I've got scrap paper, my ruler, these binder clips that I need, extra envelopes and signage that I need to keep track of. And then up higher, I just keep my plants. They're looking very sad right now. I need to fix that. Over here, I got my first IKEA pegboard just to try it out, and I really love it. It displays everything beautifully. It's like, grid method. I've got all of my printmaking inks, every color you could ever want. I haven't used all of them yet. I really should be better about that. My rollers, larger inks, rubber cement, oil for sharpening my tools, palette knives, rulers. Down here I'm keeping my watercolor swatches so I can sort of see at a glance what colors I'm referring to, because I'm sort of getting forgetful now of like what's actually in my watercolor palette. And then over here I just have some little cubbies to store little odds and ends, the extra hooks and whatnot, and the postal inspection approved stickers from Asher for when I ship out art. From here we head into the second corner that I've taken over, which is primarily a drying space where I've just hung up twine and binder clips to dry my artwork. Usually it's for block prints. Right now I've got my practice pages for my Japanese ink painting that I'm working on with a friend. They're kind of rough, so please don't judge me too harshly though, I'm just learning. And moving down from here, this corner is occupied by a really old IKEA coffee table that I used to use that I decided I couldn't quite get rid of because I need more vertical storage, and even though it's low to the ground, it's better than nothing. So right now it's got my shredder and a bunch of papers that need to be shredded, but I'm also keeping aside a box of like nicer art paper to be shredded in its own batch to create new handmade paper at some point. And then this shelf, I love this little thing. This has become my shipping station. It's got all of my letter writing supplies. I've got my fountain pens and ink. I've got some stamping stuff back there. This is my previous batch of handmade paper made out of junk mail, so it's, you know, not of the greatest quality or integrity, but I use it for little notes and stuff. It's cute. And then just, yeah, shipping materials, envelopes and such. More envelopes, stamps in this drawer. Things I don't necessarily need to get to all the time, but is nice to have in one central location. Back here behind the table, I've got my portfolios with old artwork, some larger format sketchbooks and paper, another drawing board, some leather for when I get into leathercraft, and yeah, that's this whole wall for you. Continuing from this wall, I've got my plants that sit under my grow light here so they can get the best sunlight. I recently planted up this little cat guy and he's doing so well. So that's happy. Continuing down here, this is an IKEA bookshelf that used to just be book storage, but then I realized I don't actually read physical books all that often anymore, so it's been converted over to more art supply storage. So you saw the oil painting nook. Beneath that is just various art paper storage. So I've got drawing paper, sketching paper, watercolor paper, just all of that. On the next row or column, you have all my painting supplies, acrylic paints and watercolor paints. That folio is some of my finished art files, and then more official watercolor paper and some cloths or some bandanas that I might do some screen printing with. Here I have some more oil painting supplies, miscellaneous stuff, and then my packaging materials. So these are my cardboard backs and then the plastic sleeves that my finished art files go into. Here I have some more cardboard backs, some more various art supplies stored in the back there, and then my Polaroid camera. So yeah, I have one of those. It's really fun. And then down here, some market storage, the Japanese ink painting supplies, probably some other random stuff back there. Over to my market materials that I store in these crates.
So here's where I forgot to record me talking about my market storage at all. So we're gonna do a voiceover for this part. But here you can see I have these crates from IKEA that stack together that stores all of my market materials in them. The top crate just has some quick access things, stickers, pens, my card reader. This second crate stores all my prints. So you can see this is where everything is. This is also where I store things for my online shop. So if you order anything from my website, that's where I'm going to get it to mail it to you. The very bottom crate is heavier items, frame, print stands, and whatnot. And then these top two decorative crates are for storing greeting cards and smaller things, and then just become table pieces. So that concludes my little apartment art studio tour. Here's a nice long sweep of the two walls of my room that this area takes up. It's not perfect, it's pretty cluttered, but it stores my many years of collected art things and some plants. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will do my best to make a video at some point this year and answer them.
Asher's here as well. He's very needy when it's time for videos. Isn't that right? Yeah. Oh, excuse me.